What's happening, comic fans? It's Mike from the Hardcover Comic here. Hope you've all been doing well, staying safe and sound. Today we're going to take a look at the Black Badge hardcovers. We're going to talk about the series and why it's fantastic and why you should check it out. I was able to pick up the 3 deluxe hardcovers from Boom Studios. Matt Kindt, Tyler Jenkins doing some amazing work here. We're going to take a look at the book, take a look at the story, and why you should check it out will be as spoiler-free as possible. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the books themselves. Black Badge is a 12-issue mini-series published by Boom Studios, written by Matt Kindt with artwork by Tyler and Hilary Jenkins, same creative team that brought you Grass Kings from Boom Studios as well. There were 3 hardcovers collecting the 12-issue miniseries, so 4 issues per hardcover. These are oversized editions similar to, well, other Boom Deluxe editions. Really nice volumes. I'm glad I was able to find them and pick them up. It's a series that I had read the first 4 issues of when it was coming out. I absolutely loved it. I was very hopeful that I would pick up the hardcovers at some point, so I'm glad I did. I was able to finally read the series in the nice hardcover format. It's my favorite way to read Tyler Jenkins' artwork, mostly because I think it just looks better that way, but that's just me. I'm weird that way. Tyler Jenkins, if you're unfamiliar with him as an artist, worked on titles like Peter Panzerfaust, Grass Kings, King of Nowhere, and, of course, Black Badge. Black Badge follows a group of characters. It's a really cool concept. It's a great, Matt Kindt brain concept. Follows a group of scouts known as the Black Badge Scouts. They are essentially scouts that go on espionage missions for some organization. They're kids. If they go somewhere and they get captured, they can just say, hey, we were kids on a trip, we got lost. They can do things that other people wouldn't be able to do, specifically not adults. So you get introduced to this team, Kenny, Willie, Mitz, and you get to see their adventures. They're the Black Badge team. Are there other teams within this universe? What are the other teams doing? There are a lot of other characters involved with this. Some of the characters' fathers are involved within the organization that runs Black Badge and dispatches Black Badge on missions. You get background, of course, for every character within this group. How did they get recruited? Why did they get recruited? Is there a pattern in how they got recruited? Some of the small things that get explored very early on in the series. I'm trying, of course, as hard as possible to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. But I have to give away some minor details on what's happening within the story. That being said, this story has so many plot twists and turns. You never know what to expect. Every character is a bit sketchy to you. You don't really know if you can trust every single character within the book. You find out very quickly about the organization that the Black Badge is part of, how it impacts the world, how it impacts this universe that the story's set in. There are the great little nods to especially Grass Kings in this book, which is really nice to know that these are within the same kind of universe, the Black Badge and the Grass Kings title. I really enjoyed it. Tyler Jenkins' artwork, if you've been looking at the video, may not be for everyone. I personally really dig his style, particularly with these Matt Kindt books, which my only complaint about are not particularly text heavy. It makes some very cinematic experiences, to be sure, and there's still a great story. But I just wish that at times there was a bit more exploration maybe of characters, maybe a bit more exposition on things and what characters are going through to get a better sense of a character's attitude or mindset and to make the reading experience feel a bit more richer. But of course, I'm not judging that in any way. It's just because the book felt like a quick read that I say these things. Matt Kindt, of course, does an amazing job telling this story here, and I don't really have any real complaints about it. It's a part of an amazing set of Boom Studio stories that Matt Kindt has been coming up with, so I'm very excited that there were deluxe editions for this to begin with. I'm kind of amazed at how much the story expands. I'm wondering what else will come maybe in the future from Boom Studios and the Matt Kindt and Jenkins team. Potentially some sort of crossover event. I'd be very curious to see if something like that could happen, but that's a far wish away. Getting back to Black Badge a little bit more, what I really like about the deluxe editions as well is the size of the paper, of course. These are oversized, like I mentioned. They're a nice quality of paper. They're matte. They're a bit thicker than usual trade paperbacks and hardcovers are, especially from big two, DC and Marvel. With Boom Studios, you're also getting a bit more tighter binding. Since it is only 4 issues, it's a glued binding, so you're not necessarily losing anything in the gutter, but the reading experience does require you to hold the book open, which for me is not a huge deal, particularly when it's something so portable that I can carry around with me. We're only going to take a look at the first book here because, like I said, I don't want to give away too many spoilers. What I do like in this as well is Matt Kint sort of exploring the world in this. Like I mentioned, these kids are working on espionage missions, so you get to see them travel around the world, interact with various people, as they essentially get wrapped up in a conspiracy. Of course, running 12 issues, there has to be a grander plot line here than just kids that work for some espionage organization. So there is, of course, a really awesome conspiracy that sort of unravels throughout the course of the 12-issue story here. I really, really recommend it. If you're a fan of any thrillers, anything that Matt Kint has really done, obviously, if you like Matt Kint stuff, you should pick this up. But if you like anything that's a thriller, makes you think a little bit, keeps you on your toes from a storytelling perspective, and explores really fun ideas, I highly recommend checking out Black Badge. It's a really fun title that I think is very underrated. I don't really hear too many people talk about it. As with most Matt Kint stories, they're amazing concepts with incredible execution that, I don't know, they just kind of fall to the wayside as something else happens at a different company. I almost wonder what it would be like if Matt Kint did some of these books at Image Comics, if maybe there'd be a bit more excitement or hype over them. I'm not sure. I'm not necessarily blaming anyone either, of course. It's such a fantastic title. I highly recommend checking it out. There's some amazing covers for the series. They're all just kept in the back of the book, of course, along with, I think that's pretty much it for the bonus content. There might be a few sketches here or there, but nothing too crazy. Some designs for badges, things like that. Little briefs about the author. So all in all, really nice volumes that I'm really glad I picked up. I don't know if they're that easy to find. I was able to get a set pretty locally, so I was fortunate in that way. But let me know what you think. Have you read Black Badge? Do you recommend any other titles like it? Maybe something that isn't by Matt Kint. Of course, Matt Kint has written many titles that have a thriller sort of theme to them. Obviously, very different concepts from this. Very cool idea. I really enjoyed this title a lot. Let us know what you thought down in the comment section below. Please let us know other thriller comic recommendations, any other underrated comic recommendations you have, things that you think fell to the wayside over the, recent years. Let us know down in the comment section below. Thank you all very much for tuning in. This was Mike from the Hardcover Comic. Until next time, as always, you stay classy, Internet.